What's up? This is AJ from Mutiny Within. You're listening to the Metal Lab 101 podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Metal Lab 101 podcast.
Woo!
Big show today. We got back by popular demand.
Whoa.
Billy Fore,
Hey.
drum master,
One person.
man,
demanded him.
family,
Yeah.
good person.
My mom said.
Excellent looking hat today.
Billy,
by
you
the
should
way.
do that
Thank you.
podcast again.
And I really like that it matches the beige rug.
It does, right?
You know what I'm saying?
He
I
rolled
like
out
that
the
you
beige.
remembered from last week.
I know. I had
You
the
know?
match.
And Andrew Jacobs, the bass player and founding member of Mutiny Within. What's
up,
up, brother?
fellas? How you doing, man?
Dude,
What's
thank
up,
you,
man?
guys. Thank you so much for coming down. We know it's we know your time's precious.
Are you
Thank
kidding?
you very much for
gotta
coming in,
support a metal podcast,
Of course.
man?
dude.
Any day.
It's I'll show you the Bible later when we're off
Is there a
air.
camera
I got,
we're looking
I got
at?
a Bible
Yeah.
on me. No joke.
Oh, it's
but,
up there.
But yeah, man. So what's going on, man? How's the traffic?
Yeah, it was fine.
Traffic's
fine?
Yeah.
Not bad on a Saturday at noon. Right?
No, I mean Staten Island, though. I don't know, man. I don't know about this place. Yeah. Look at you. The look
I've
on
been
your
coming here
face.
for far too long.
Bro. I'm not gonna get too into it, but I come home from Queens
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
from work, right? Antonio too, exact same problem. You're battling the BQE.
Right.
There's no way around it.
You know what though? I think there's a stat that says Staten Island out of all the boroughs has the cleanest restaurants, and there's something else too.
Oh, the longest
The
commute.
longest,
No, I'm
the
dead
longest
serious. It was in the
commute-
paper.
The longest commute in America.
Yeah.
What
An
do you mean?
average
As
time.
for the average time,
It's
like
an average time of 44 minutes.
That's
Yes.
worse than LA.
44 minutes
Yeah.
of
number one,
what?
it's
To
worse
go
than
where?
LA. No
Driving
joke.
to go to your job.
Damn.
It was the thing. Like, it was a whole
ridiculous.
article I
And
read
imagine
online
if
about it.
Chris Christie got involved, then it'd be way
Oh,
longer.
oh.
Then he just
Sorry,
shut
guys.
down what he
Got
wanted to shut
political.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there'd be no more
I
restaurants.
think he was. Yeah.
fucking eat everything.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, you know that he like bullied and shut the bridge down, and it's like
Oh,
terrible.
yeah,
People
that's-
were on there for 12 hours. Can you imagine sitting in your car for 12 hours? Or
Well,
whatever?
how about this is how I know it's all planned.
Yeah.
They called it Bridgegate, the whole Bridgegate
Yeah, yeah.
scandal. Do you know who his his little assistant was that got in trouble for it? You know her name?
No.
Bridget.
Oh yeah, you told
It's
me
like
that.
how much more in your face does it? Everything like this when it comes
Yeah.
to some kind of politics or
It's all
something in that
planned.
arena, it's been planned fucking
Right.
10 years ago.
Yeah, but don't you know that it's fun to
it.
think it wasn't? All
What?
right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
When it's like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know.
He should not wear what was that? The Yankee
Oh
outfit?
yeah, the baseball uniform.
What was that? What was that?
Well, I think he had the surgery, and like he's beating the surgery, like he's getting fat again.
If
It's
you're
crazy.
that big
beating
and you
surgery.
can't,
Yeah.
Speedy.
He's
It's not cancer.
You can't shut this down.
what happened? I
No,
see something.
nothing.
Oh, okay.
Everything's good.
I thought you were saying goats. I'm like,
Goats.
Watch behind you. Watch out. There's goats behind you.
Chris
Yo,
Crispy.
one more thing about Christy. I think the other day
Chris Crispy cream.
he was like, I'm not gonna tell the story right, but he was doing something like giving.
He
a
was doing
speech.
something fat.
Yeah, he was doing something fat. He was
doing
giving a speech or whatever, and he couldn't stay the whole night. He kept telling everybody, "I have to go. I have other things to attend to." And then
He
people
was
didn't want
caught
him to
eating
go.
a calzone
No,
at
no,
2
no.
a.m. Right.
He tweeted a picture later that night. He was at like a Bruce Springsteen concert.
What's up with
Yo,
Bruce
got something to
Springsteen?
do. Got something
Making
to
his
do.
way into this podcast.
And then he.
Don't get mad. You always
That's
get
been said.
mad.
I don't know.
Springsteen's been mentioned before.
Yeah, Bruce
Yeah,
Spring.
me.
I call
I'm a
him
big
Bruce
fan.
String cheese.
Yeah. Well, we.
I'm a big
They
fan.
they almost had a fucking sword fight last week about it.
I think
About
I legitimately call him a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, I
Call him a
remember
piece
that.
of shit.
That's
okay.
You're basically calling New Jersey a piece of shit.
Yeah,
That's what
you,
you're doing.
you unbelievable bastard.
I know. That's all right.
Good stuff.
all
So
good.
I have a thought
Go
that I
ahead.
want to put out there.
Go ahead.
So, it's basically this meme I saw the other day. Kim Kardashian.
We're
right?
a big fan of
memes.
memes over here.
So it said something like Kim Kardashian just bought her third car already this year, and I'm over here sweating if I should add guacamole to my Chipotle.
It's a real decision.
It is,
No,
and that's
listen.
is that the disparity? Like
I think they're both first world problems.
Yeah. It is. I say that shit all the time. Like kids in Africa.
Right.
It's like we're fucking like saying like, oh my God, my cell phone cord doesn't reach across my bed, so I can't charge it right now. And like kids are like in Africa and all these fucking other countries that have nothing are flattening water bottles for sandals, and putting their toes through hooks. And I'm not kidding.
No,
that's
no,
for real.
No, that's real life.
Definitely what happens.
It's real life, and we don't
Without
know
a doubt.
about it. And not to another thing about the phrase "not to mention," I've been thinking this. When you say "not to mention," then you mention something, right? It's a stupid phrase.
Well, it's the same as bleeding off a sentence with "to be honest." Well, are you not honest any other time you fucking talk to me?
But this time,
or are you
be
telling me that you're always a fucking liar, and
off-
now you're gonna give me the
Or
truth?
off the record in regular conversation.
Yeah.
Like, are we part of the FBI?
Yeah, I
Or
know.
when people say I could care less. No, you couldn't care
You
less.
could not. Yeah. If you
That's-
could care less, that means you could actually care
there are
less.
things I could care less about.
Devil Driver fucked up big time with a song. I could care less.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's called, and
That's a
everyone was
great.
calling him.
That's a
yeah.
great song.
And now we're
But
getting
it's
into
wrong.
metal.
It's a wrong song.
It's a wrong.
That was
song.
our
It's the
segue
wrong
into
song.
metal talk right
Boom.
there.
Right on it.
Devil Driver's a good band.
I love Devil Driver,
Yeah.
man. I like that. Well, I don't like that, but it was crazy because at like towards the end of Cold Chamber, it was like then when Devil Driver came out, he was talking like he was like sneaking away from like his bandmates at Cold Chamber just to jam with these dudes.
Yeah.
He should have
He
snuck
felt
away
bad about telling
quicker.
him.
I hate Cold Chamber.
Yeah,
mean,
I
be
like the
honest,
early stuff.
but-
To be honest,
I don't like their early.
it's not gonna be
I don't
on-
like their
They're-
early stuff, and I don't like their. They just reformed again.
They did, yeah.
They
and
did really?
It's not good. It's
No,
the
it's
same
not
old
good.
shit.
I heard
Yeah.
like the one they did like what was the last one before the one you're talking about?
I have no.
It
I
was
have
a
no
long
idea.
time
years
ago.
ago.
It was a
Couple years
long,
ago.
long
Yeah,
time
no, they
ago.
took a big break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he formed Devil Driver, made all those. What, they have 5 albums out?
What's that song, Clouds Over California? It's
That
a dope,
intro is
dope
insane.
Song. It takes forever, and you just get
Yep.
so pumped up.
I like
and
End
Their
of the
whole
Line.
their
What's that?
intros, end of the
End-
line,
End of
And
the
a line,
Line.
and a line.
Great song.
Clouds Over California. The intros are the most epic sounding,
Yeah.
leading up to the most let down the
Okay.
rest of the song I've ever heard in my life. The song just kind of takes a backseat to the intro after that.
That's why you got to make mashups and just take parts of songs you like. And
They're famous for, in my mind at least, for good intros.
Dez has that tattoo, like under his beard.
Oh, yeah,
it's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's dedicated to that shit.
Chris loved them. Chris was a huge Devil Driver.
Chris Clancy. Oh no! Get out of here! Oh shit! Look at that. We got a tattoo. We got a Devil Driver tattoo. Amazing.
I got a mushroom head tattoo on my left.
Oh
arm.
nice.
We won't talk about
I
that.
love I like mushroom head.
played
I
at-
like the vocal stylist.
I
You know what
used to
mean?
like that album.
The
What was it,
contrast
Triple
between
X
them.
or something?
Yeah.
That was when I heard that. I
that's
was
a
like,
great
that's
album.
weird. It's kind of cool.
They do a famous Halloween show every year in Cleveland.
We played
and
with
we played
them.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That was
think
fun.
everybody has
That's
that
cool.
tattoo that they're like, I got this tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking know.
I have a newt on my back.
I have Jack Skellington on my chest.
Can I tell you something? I don't have any tattoos. I'm the only guy in the metal scene that doesn't have tattoos, and I'm not making a stance. I just,
Nothing wrong with
You
that.
haven't
I can't-
found anything you like yet?
No,
I'm gonna give you a quick rundown.
I'm very indecisive,
Ah.
and I know that every year I change my opinion on everything. So,
So, yeah.
yeah,
See all these tattoos I got?
yeah.
I say I regret about 99% of them. Let me just give you a little climate of where we were at.
All right,
My
go ahead.
brother was learning how to tattoo.
Yeah.
We were working at a strip club.
Yeah.
I was dating a stripper.
Yeah.
And
Wait, weren't you working at like a dildo store?
Yeah. So like half, like he
Continue your story.
He owned the porn. No, listen. He owned the porn store. He owned the strip club, and he owned the bar 20 feet down from the strip club. Because in Florida, you can't have
Bunch
liquor where you
of
have
reputable
so-
businesses.
What a strip.
Yeah. So we were back and forth.
Can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
That's
But
an
Rob was like-
entrepreneur.
but we would come home, everybody's drunk, and fucking Rob would be like, anybody want a tattoo? Tattoos, yeah, what else? Yeah, flames, all kinds of shit, you know what I mean? And, and now I'm 32 with 3 children.
Right.
And I'm like, and everyone's like, what's up with those flames? I'm like, I don't know. I like this. And they're like, why do you have an X on your middle finger? I'm like, I couldn't tell you. I was in a metal band working at a strip club.
Still
I was
figuring it out.
21,
Yeah.
22. Yeah. Yeah. Like
times.
now I'm like, I'm never gonna have any kids or anything.
Right,
Now,
right.
I don't want to put my daughter's name
Right.
somewhere because it'll be next to a fucking skull.
Now everyone,
or a,
Right next to Mushroom Head.
now everyone understands
Exactly,
why I don't
yeah.
have any tattoos.
yeah, it's all good.
Oh, no, it always, like, the pinup girl I have, everyone's like, oh, the body, why is her face like that? I was like, I told her to make him ugly. Make her face ugly.
It's the only way you could save him.
Although I
That's
got
how I wanted it.
The show Ink Master I love, and the
Oh, yeah.
last episodes when they do the back piece.
No,
wild,
fuck
man.
that. I like the
Wild.
tattoo nightmares The new ones
God.
where they fix up the bad ones.
Yeah.
Those are better.
Like
those
the
are
one
more,
guy that legitimately had tits. Like he had tits over his tits.
Oh,
Like, he
that's
got
interesting.
tits
That's an
tattooed
interesting
over his
take
tits.
on your chest.
That's the
Like he was
first
like,
thing
I
I'm
don't know.
checking.
He's like, I don't know what I was doing. Like
That's
that
like-
was it. Like
That's
that
like
was an
those
excuse.
tattoos that people get of like Goku from with the Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon
but
Ball
then
Z.
their fist turns into their fist. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their arm floats down, or like Jesus Christ being like crucified, and like his arm is your hand, which is fucking weird in its own
Very
right.
weird.
That
Well,
you
some
want
of the detailed stuff like that they do it is pretty crazy, but I can understand like totally.
yeah.
Like, why do you have Christ? I seen the Christ, like the stigmata hand, or
Yeah,
the-
what is?
I was like,
are you calling
that's
yourself Jesus,
commitment.
or are you calling?
That's
yourself-
commitment.
See, here's my
You got to
take
commit
is,
to that.
I get it. If you want to be religious and you want to get whatever you want to get on your body, go ahead. But if your dad, and this is whatever. Okay, say your uncle or your dad got beaten to death with a hammer. Are you gonna wear a necklace of a hammer and his bludgeoned body? No. Why is everyone wearing, if you love Jesus Christ, why are you wearing him dead, strung up, and nailed to wood while he was already brutalized?
You just offended like 9 million people.
I don't. Well, I'm asking.
He's
I'm
not-
asking.
no, no.
I'm not
I
even.
think-
I'm asking a question.
I think-
Why get that?
No, there's
Me,
yeah.
I think.
Wouldn't you want a
predominantly-
picture of him praying and
I
say,
got
"Oh my
the-
God, look at my Lord"?
I have the Jesus head, but I think that comes from being one, raised Catholic.
Right.
You know what I mean, and two, I'm Italian. So it's
Oh,
like
right.
that's like a,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
part
yeah.
of that
You're right,
stipulation.
yeah.
Doesn't Rob have one?
Yeah.
Rob has
yeah,
a Jesus
Rob-
head.
Rob has a
You know
Jesus.
what I mean?
Rob has a Jesus head, and when he first got it, it was kind of like faded out a little bit, and I'm like, what kind of face does Jesus have on that picture? It's him with it's him, and he has the
crown.
and he has the
crown of
crown of
thorns.
thorns,
Right, right.
and he's like this. He's like,
He's about to catch a fly ball.
and I'm
No,
like,
it's when Jesus didn't know he was in the shot, and he just looked up at the camera. And,
I'm like, you know what that looks like, Rob? It looks like that. You know what that look is called? That's gentle surprise.
and trust me, when he was getting nailed to the cross, there was no gentle surprise there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, why get him when he was at his
Oh.
lowest form, when he was being tortured and killed? It's like, don't you want someone happy and a happy remembrance of someone?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
I think the way they do it is it's because of
Well, he suffered for.
he suffered and he sacrificed himself for his sins, and that was his ultimate sacrifice for your sins.
Well, sure.
That's the way
But
they look
on
at
the
it.
same token, if
To
your
honor
dad,
that.
if your dad is a hardworking man, and he worked his whole life, fingers to the bones, 900 hours a week, and then he
that
lived
Rob?
to be 90. Yeah, he lived to be 90, and his face was sunken in, and he had tubes, and he was in his casket. Are you going to get that image tattooed on your body, or you're going to get an image of when he used to be young and vibrant, and when you used to remember him? That's what I don't get, the tattooing at the death point.
It'd be more aesthetically pleasing.
But you
Yeah,
know what,
sure.
bro? You know what? I went to Catholic school for 8 years, 1st through 8th grade, right? I went from Catholic school straight to public high school. And let me tell you, that was a shock.
Right.
To go to
Gotta
8
be.
years ago, dude. Church every Friday, church every Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, church every Sunday.
Mad discipline,
You
and
know
then
what
you
I
go to
mean?
public
Yeah,
school.
mad. I'm
and-
crazy
and
discipline.
No
Uniform.
discipline.
I'm talking thrown right in with the sharks, bro.
Smoking cigarettes in the
You know what I'm
bathroom.
saying?
Yeah.
So, and now, what I took out of that, I was an altar boy.
Oh, shit.
No joke,
Yeah, bro.
I was balls deep.
5
in-
years.
I was
5
balls
years.
deep in Catholicism.
I was balls deep in that wine.
right. So,
Bro.
so then when I got out there and
I've never heard
balls.
balls deep and Catholicism in the same sentence.
I have.
Oh yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
oh,
saying.
yeah. Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying. So now when I got out there into the real world and I seen how life is, I seen how people interact with each other, seen how they brainwash the shit out of you.
Oh, boy.
There's no joke.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I'm not disrespecting anyone that is Catholic, that is
Whatever.
Christian. Listen, live and let live. You be, the whole thing. But me as someone who was in it and then I came out of it, I made up my own belief that everyone's connected, energy, the whole deal. You know what I mean?
That's a
like
better-
I picked a
I
couple
mean-
things that make sense and feel good for me.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's what
right.
I go
and
with.
You know what? People can believe
And I
what
teach
they,
my kids good values,
Right.
to respect
Exactly.
people,
and
to
people
respect their elders.
should believe what feels right. Although everyone should see the whole world first and like really
Absolutely.
take it all in,
Yeah.
see what's out there.
You're
Absolutely.
gonna grow up
You
where
know.
you grew up and go to the church that you were told to go and only believe in that mindset of ideals
Right.
specifically. When there's somebody in India that did the same thing as you, mirror image, and they
just
think they're right.
Oh, we're lucky because we
So-
have a lot more freedoms. you
Of
know what I
course,
mean?
but
We
like
can-
in any other country, a country that's just as free as us, then they're Islam or
Yeah.
they're whatever, Buddhist. It doesn't
Right.
matter. They think they're right.
Yeah.
We think we're right.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
right? You get what
It's
I'm
just
saying?
a vicious
It's like
cycle.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not that. It's just never gonna end.
It's
You
like
know
the
what I
same
mean?
thing as like atheists, very devout atheists,
Atheists
are
are-
just as annoying as extremely religious people because what they're saying is, I know I'm right, you're not. They're saying, I have it figured out. Atheists say there is no God, there is no nothing. We die, lights out, the curtain closes. Religious people say, no, that's not true. When we go into heaven and we live in paradise. Well, who's right? They're both claiming that they're absolutely right. And if you're claiming you're absolutely right, you know the fucking origin of the everything.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
You weren't
You're
there.
an asshole.
You weren't there.
Well,
We don't know. Why don't you say
don't
we're
know.
not sure?
Exactly. We
going
don't
back
know.
to the Catholicism thing, I actually think they have made the new pope is pretty dope. Like he totally just was like, gay people are cool.
You want to
Okay.
know? You want to know why you think the Pope is cool?
Why?
There's a reason for that. If everybody thinks that this new Pope is the cool, fresh one that makes memes and goes like this, woo. you see
No,
that
that's
meme?
actually hip hop.
Exactly. But the point is,
You just
the
dabbed.
last
He dabbed a
the,
little bit.
the
dab
last
on him?
Pope,
The Pope dabs. You didn't know that?
The last pope stepped down.
Yeah, he dabbed.
No, dude.
He
I'm
vapes.
not like.
He's got a hell of a rig
Yeah,
at
yeah.
home.
I'm totally not saying that like I'm in love with
No, sure,
Catholicism.
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying like to see a religion make some progression, you know,
well, that's what I'm saying. The progression is fake progression.
you think
it is.
it's
I know
to get viewers.
for a
It's
fact to get viewers.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
that's
For
the
a
name.
fact.
I
That's
totally,
the name of
I'm
the
just
game
saying-
lately.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's what religion's cool. But then when you were
Trump
saying the whole
and the whole
fucking
deal.
atheist thing,
Right.
the whole atheists tell everybody they're atheists. They're like CrossFitters.
Exactly.
You know what I
They're-
mean?
They're like
Vegans.
vegans. They're like vegetarians.
Yo, sorry.
No, I'm
I'm
kidding.
I'm vegan. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's all good.
And just change the topics, unless you guys have more to say.
No,
No,
go
ahead.
ahead.
All right, I'm trying to stop everyone from getting in trouble here. I'm vegan because of touring, so we'll get to
Oh,
that.
yeah,
but
yeah,
basically, yeah, and I don't preach about it. It's the worst thing you could do.
I know. Yeah, I just
totally.
I just saw a meme of like a kid looks like he's sweating to
Yeah,
death,
yeah.
flexing, and it says, "When
No.
you're a vegan and you haven't told anyone in 8 minutes."
Yeah.
and he's just like screaming.
Doing that with everything. Like when
I've seen that
I
one,
did
too.
that right at the start, though. I was like, "Yo, you got to try this and that," but now I just, I do
Whatever.
for me. I do
But
for
it's
me.
different, bro. If you're giving someone positive advice,
Exactly.
advice that you
You're
feel
not
is
like
positive,
saying yes.
And it's good
That's
advice.
cool.
Eat more fucking vegetables.
Yeah, it is.
Stop eating the fucking the potato skins and the chili cheese fries.
Yeah.
It's a good advice, but like you said with the CrossFit, it's
Yeah.
like this new trends.
Well, no, it's like, give me the good shit. Don't shove it in my face.
Yeah.
Don't be like, you
Yeah.
need to do
Yeah,
this.
but that's with
because
anything.
you're
That's
not
with
a good person.
Anybody that
Yeah.
No, you're
that
saying
believes
that-
something that someone else doesn't believe.
Right.
You know
and
what I mean?
and my preface is,
It's bringing up points of views.
yeah.
Yeah.
My preface is, do you care? Are you interested? Yeah. All right. I'll tell you. A
Exactly.
Couple things. That's it.
You
If
get-
you don't, hey, fuck it.
You get more flies with fucking honey than
Then you do it with
with.
vinegar. Look at you. Look
Like
at you
that.
busting out an oldie.
Yeah.
That's
come
an
on.
oldie.
That's an oldie but a goodie right there.
He has crib notes on his hand. That's it.
it's inside.
I'm gonna start
like-
sweating and they smudge. And I don't know what to say.
14,
you'll just hear Bill silent the rest of the podcast.
Heavy breathing.
staring, but staring in the corner, like.
So what's
Scotch,
funny is when you
smiling, freezing.
when you tour this country, when you leave, like let's say you start in Jersey, when you leave like the border of Pennsylvania, there's nothing out there except gas stations and Taco Bell.
It's a vast
And
expanse of greenery and a road.
So it's like, what do you want for lunch today? The butterscotch crimpets pack, or like this old taco in the gas station? You know they have that window,
Oh,
the
yeah.
heating.
It's
heating
there for like
box.
9 hours
Yeah,
just
exactly.
cooking.
And
And
things
so
that just roll around on those rollers.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I was at the studio. What really made me change my lifestyle is I was in the studio for like 4 months in Jersey City working on Vexed, and
Treehouse.
Yeah, Treehouse in Jersey City, and downstairs there was this Cuban place, and everyone went there. We went there for breakfast. They had breakfast, which was like steak.
Is this
right?
where you picked
Yeah.
up salsa dancing? No, I'm kidding. Just continue.
I thought
Just
you
picked it up.
I was getting
Just
ready
like
to
that.
answer like about salsa,
No.
and then you said dancing.
Ah,
I didn't know.
forget it.
Is salsa
Um,
Cuban?
I'm sorry. No, I don't know.
I think it's Latin.
It's something different.
Latin.
Was
Put under
Latin
the
like a
Latin
big
umbrella.
bubble that?
Well, you don't want
It's
to.
an umbrella.
Now you're
Let's
classing
Continue
people.
your fucking.
You've classed people.
It's not that interesting, but basically there's a Cuban place, and we ate it every day for breakfast and lunch. And
Right.
I felt myself getting tired. I felt myself just feeling like shit and not being creative, like all the things.
So now you're saying
And
Cuban
lethargic.
people make you not creative.
Cuban, yeah. If you're not gonna be
No,
something,
but I agree.
But
Heavy
and
foods.
then the second I changed and I just started eating healthier, everything became more positive.
Oh, yeah,
so I was
without
like, you know
doubt.
what, this lifestyle stuff. But hey, if you're on tour and especially a band in a van, that's just how it has to be. Chris was vegetarian, but he was junk vegetarian because we were on tour, so he ate French fries instead of a burger.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yo, just give me a shitload of French fries.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Even if you're a junky vegetarian,
I'm good.
you can't
Keep 'em
even eat a
coming.
Twinkie
I'm good. Keep 'em coming.
because Twinkies have animal fat in them.
Yeah.
They have like beef fat. in
Everything
the-
has everything in
Yeah.
it. It's crazy. You got to check everything nowadays.
Twinkies scare me.
Yeah.
And,
Something
like,
that lasts that long, I don't know if that should be in your
Yeah.
mouth.
like
That's what she said.
You know what I mean?
A what? Too soon? No.
It didn't die.
Somebody died.
Didn't die.
Some guy that got a hard dick just died.
this podcast can only go downhill from here, or uphill, depending on how you look at.
So
all
I
of
wanted to ask. Now that I got both you guys here, I wanted to
it.
ask.
Loosened up.
All loosened up, all loosey goosey.
That's good.
I wanted to ask you, like, how do you go from? I mean, all right, you guys started out. You started the band in 2002, correct? As a Children of Bodom
You tell
cover
me.
band.
Yeah,
That's a common misnomer.
They got no. Well, it's my fault. I said that
yeah,
in
I
an interview.
know. And everybody just fucking flied with it.
Yeah, and then they wrote the biography and it said Children of Bodom
Yeah.
cover band, and Chris, our singer, was so mad I said that. Yeah, I guess that's the year. I mean, it was, I was 16 or 17 or something in high school, and I had started out in punk. I think a lot of metal kids started out in punk,
Yeah,
because you go from your parents listening to Billy Joel to like you start getting into maybe rock and roll, and then you get angry as a kid, so you start listening to punk, which is rebellious. And for me, that led to metal. So my punk days were like Bad Religion, No Effects.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, it's awesome, and lyrically, it was so political. It was so like against the grain. And Bad Religion has a song called "Against the Grain," pretty awesome. And so I just really got into that scene. And I had a friend, Ryan Nolan, shout out. We were 16. We were like, we should start a band. I was like, all right, cool. I'll play guitar and you play bass. And he's like, I don't want to play bass. I was like, all right, fine, I'll play bass. And that's why I'm a bass player.
AJ's life revolved around just settling.
Yeah,
Is
I was
what-
just everything. I was like, okay, fine. So I got a bass. I'm a lefty, but lefty basses were way too expensive, so I got a righty bass and I play righty now.
That's dope.
That's God telling you you're an idiot.
Yeah,
If
I
you're-
guess.
It's like, stop it.
No,
buy a fucking righty.
lefties should play righty because you do most of your work on the fretboard with your left hand. So I can do fast stuff, and I feel like with my right hand, I wouldn't be able to do some
I
of the
get it.
things.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So that's just my theory. Like this other theory I have that women live longer than men. Okay, I heard this theory. I think it's brilliant. Because women have their menstrual cycle. Men don't ever lose their blood. But men who donate blood like every 3 months, they tend to live longer.
Because it makes fresh blood.
Yeah.
Like right after you donate that blood, just eat like a super kale beet,
Yeah.
with like dudes.
Dudes?
dense.
He loved it. Dude.
What is a dude?
Wait, you're trying to say dates?
Dense like
Oh,
like densely nutritionist food.
It's not even close. I know. I didn't know.
So anyway, we gotta stop getting off the rails here.
Like densely like nutritional food.
It went,
After
from
all that
you.
blood
It went
comes
from
out.
you playing a righty bass to women having their periods.
Yeah, sorry.
And dudes.
Isn't that? It's a dope theory.
Right.
It's a really dope theory.
like
So anyway, so we made a punk band, and that transitioned into, I just started getting a little more technical. Some of the punk bassists, like Rancid, they have crazy bass lines.
Was that Lars was the bassist, or was he the other guitarist?
Lars
Fredrickson?
no, that's the guitarist.
Okay,
The bass
yeah.
player,
Yeah.
nobody knows his name, but he's awesome.
He's there.
Yeah, he's there. Believe me. And then I started getting kind of technical on the bass, and I learned like Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is, I mean, I still can't play some of that stuff. And I heard Metallica. And I have the worst story getting into metal. I heard like a Metallica song, and then I heard a Children of Bodom song. This Finnish band who shreds balls. Okay.
Yeah.
Shreds.
And no, shreds balls.
Yeah, shred.
And so then
Destroys
all of a
balls.
sudden, Children of Bodom, then I got into like Sonata Arctica, Throne of Chaos, like all these underground Finnish
Yeah.
bands, and that was my introduction to metal. And
We
then
took the same transition, the same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. And then only later to learn about Iron Maiden and Metallica or whatever. But I
Yeah.
think it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I started learning like the toughest metal songs to play
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Boom.
So that was kind of how it started, and then I stupidly said in an interview, Children Bodom cover band. But those were the first songs we were learning because I said, you know what, let's just start with the hardest songs, and we would work on them for months and months and months to make sure the solos were perfect and whatever. So that was kind of the start of it. and I guess I can just go through the story more, jump in because my memory's awful.
Well, how about like from like where you guys are like relatively unknown, to making that whole entire journey just to up to Roadrunner Records being signed and officially signed national touring act. You know what I mean?
And we get asked advice a lot, and I think it's important for people to realize that there's not one road. Right, it can happen in a million different ways, but it doesn't happen unless you put yourself out there. Yeah. So we were booking shows. I mean, local shows, Stone Pony, Hamilton Street Cafe, like the smallest places, you know, in Jersey, a backyard. I mean, you just got to keep playing. Yeah. And eventually, you know, we can book a bigger show and hope someone's there to see you, someone at a label or whatever.
Those are the A&Rs, the people that go out. Scout the places, see some new blood, and Mike Gitter.
So we played a show at Hamilton Street Cafe.
This was before me.
Yeah,
I was not. In the band
I didn't even know Bill. And 5 Fingers. No. 3 Inches of Blood. Is that their name?
5 Fingers of Death Punch.
Is it 3 Inches of Blood?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the band? Okay. Wow, I haven't said that band name in forever. And they were headlining, and we got on the bill. We were like the first band out of 5 at a cafe, and there was like 20 people there. The reason is because I heard that a Roadrunner guy was going to be there. So, of course, you know, we dropped everything. We played the show. But the trick is that a lot of bands don't realize is don't just play and that's it. You get off that stage, you walk right up to that guy, introduce yourself, get his card.
Yeah, face to face.
Yeah, and then I emailed him every day for the next like 5 years. I mean, so people ask, how did you do it? That's how you do it. You get these guys cards, or seriously, go to the record label you love, go to their website, go to contact. Get the phone number,
email address,
and get the email address, and then you start to
fucking bombard them.
And you start to learn. Sorry to all the record labels out there, but usually the email is their last name, like Jones@roadrunnerrecords.com. So just email all these guys. Yeah, just send their
email
songs.
all of them.
Yeah, and guess what? No one is too much of a big shot. Like we're all the same on the same level. We really are. I don't care if you have an important job or you know, regular job. I mean, we're all the same. So they get an email coming through, they see it, you know. So just you got to title it right. You got to keep writing demos, and that's what we did. I mean, we wrote 60, 70 songs. I mean, maybe more. Who knows? And just kept sending them out, and that was really the path. And I just kept emailing all these people. I just got my license, and I heard that Metal Julia from Fuse was going to be at this bar in Brooklyn.
Wow, from Fuse.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
She was
much music before Fuse.
Right.
Yeah, man.
She was going to be at this bar in Brooklyn, just hanging out. I saw it on like a Facebook post. I just got my license. It was a weeknight, and I drove like an hour and a half from Jersey all the way into this Brooklyn, a bar that I'm not old enough. I begged the guy at the door to give me a wristband, and I literally got in there, found her, and gave her a demo CD and left, and that was it. And it's a lot of effort, you know, and people won't do that, but it's because of that we got a call back, and she said, "Hey, awesome. This first song's really, really great," and we became pretty close. So it's just things like that. It's building your network, and eventually.
Now, do you think the same blueprint works in today's?
Yes.
Today's, definitely.
I respect bands that come up to me after if I play a show with like Angel or something, and a band that just played before us or didn't even play, just came to the place just to watch the show and hand me a CD. I listen to it. We listen to it.
Yeah.
That's when we were on tour a few times. A couple bands did that, and we would do the little test. We'd put it in. If it sucked, it would fly out the window. If it wasn't, we'd be like shocked because there's a lot of shit to sift through. But you have to have respect for the bands that are going out and pounding the pavement to try and get their thing in the ears holes of other people. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, you asked if it's different now. I'm assuming you're thinking of online or internet, right? I mean,
like that avenue.
But I don't think it's different because you still have to have a team built around you. And you can play shows and build the online audience and get your numbers into the hundreds of thousands on YouTube. But to have that strong core like we did, I mean, we took a path where we were unknown. And we were talking to Roadrunner Records and just kept hounding this guy, Mike Gitter, who, you know, we owe everything to. He really gave us a chance, and he followed us for 2 years. And we just kept hounding him.
We kept hounding him.
And, you know, he eventually brought Monty Connor, who was the other NR guy, Roadrunner, legendary. Yep. And they came out to a show we played at BB King's with Sabat. And we opened, and Monty said, "They're ready," you know. And
I specifically remember hearing what Monty said.
What did he say?
He took Gitter into the hallway, and he goes, "What are you waiting for?"
Yeah.
and that's when I got the tingly sensation.
That's fucking awesome.
Shooting from my
so
penis
dope, bro.
all the way all to my hands, and that's when I knew I'm like, holy shit.
The first penis.
And it was such a good, that's one of many. That was
Yeah.
the first show, or the show was so haywire because Lou wasn't there,
Our guitarist
and we were
was working late at Walgreens or something.
And we were about to go on.
We set up his guitar on stage for him.
Yep.
He took a train into New York.
That's
we're about
great.
to play 5 minutes before.
Walks
Jumps
on-
on
Not
the
kidding,
stage.
and that's not a joke.
That's not a joke.
The second we were
Yeah.
on stage, ready to go.
Yeah.
Lou shows up, jumps, not even kidding, jumps on stage,
Yeah.
plugs in his guitar, and we went. And
we
that's
went.
how it was.
Damn.
So-
It would have
And we
been
played
dope
such
if
a
he had a
six.
Walgreens name
Yeah,
tag
yeah,
still
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And it was
That'd
such
have
a,
been
and
sick.
it was a great set. We gave everything we had. That's another factor. Give everything you have every time you play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we talk about it all
All
the time. You had to do that, and a lot of
Have a
bands,
presence.
They have off nights. You're not allowed to have an off night. I mean, these kids, these fans
Yeah.
paid to see you. I mean, you
Exactly.
can't have an off
You
night.
gotta
That's
put on
your
a show.
job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So we took that route, going right for the major labels. There's many other routes. I mean, I love the grassroots route. You know, build it yourself, get big enough to where the labels are coming to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome too. I mean,
Yeah.
We went from having no demo at all to being signed to Roadrunner.
yeah.
So
that was our path. So there's ups and downs to that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
you're,
yeah.
the downside
A lot of
is you're
variables.
very reliant on this this big machine. So that's not always the best situation. But at the same time, our album went out worldwide.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done that
That's
on our own.
insane.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
without a doubt.
distributed it for us when we would not have had the means at that time.
Right.
Because the internet existed. I'm not saying this was fucking 50 years ago,
No,
but it
no.
wasn't like what it is
What
now.
it is now.
No,
And
without
like
doubt.
our official video for Awake came out. It's got whatever amount of views, but now bands put out videos and they're not even a real band and they get more views. It's like the internet is more of a thing now
Yeah.
than it used to be when we were coming up.
Yeah, they tailor it more to that than they do to the
100%.
to the way it
100%.
was.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of divert your attention. Maybe not divert, but split your attention in the appropriate areas.
Yeah.
Don't just concentrate on making a really slick-looking YouTube playthrough video
Yeah.
when no one has ever seen you actually play through a song on stage. So you gotta
No, it's a good point.
get every angle now.
Yeah.
When back in the day you could just
I miss
maybe focus
music
on one.
videos.
It's
man.
so crazy
I
how
miss
they died.
watching when MTV was for music.
Yeah.
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 Like watching that, like MTV2. Then they had the Headbangers Ball.
Right.
They
Yep.
they brought it back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they had stuff
We
like
were
that.
on
and
our
they-
video was on Headbangers
At
Ball.
the
I see it.
premiere was at 3 a.m.
yeah.
That was awesome.
It's so crazy though how a generation made a huge stink about how videos killed, regular music.
I
and
remember.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just didn't give a fuck.
All right.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh okay.
Right.
Like no one's doing videos.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Look, I think
Like we didn't care.
the bottom line is no one knows where things are headed. I mean, you can't predict it. You
No
don't know
clue.
what's going to
Right.
happen.
So
So
if you're predicting it now, it's already changing.
yeah. So
Yep.
no one knows. And these big shots they talk about, oh, I know where the music business is going to be in 10 years.
Sure
or
you
whatever.
do.
No, you don't. And guess what? So what you should do as a band, do it all.
Yeah.
Get your
Exactly.
presence online, get your live chops up, get your songs as perfect as they can be. I mean, do it all so that wherever things shift, you're not, you're not cut out of the loop.
You gotta be well rounded.
Yeah.
That
So
way you can adapt to anything.
yeah. So listen, signing a Roadrunner was a dream come true for all of
Yeah.
us. It was crazy.
I imagine.
And I mean, leading up to that was putting the band together, which is a whole other story. I mean, I've been through over 10 or 11 members.
Ridiculous.
Like that went in and out the door. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, and personality has a ton to do with it. Talent has a ton to do with it. I mean, there's so much, and you have to, as much as we like to rag on famous bands, you make fun of Nickelback, you make fun of whatever. I mean,
It's so easy
Just
to make
hold it
fun
in.
of
I know.
Nickelback.
But I wish people
Just
had a
hold it in.
little more humility and respect, because what it takes to keep a band together is so ridiculously hard.
Yep.
So hard.
There's no doubt that they're good at what they do. Of what they do.
Right, but
You
I
know
mean,
what I
just
mean?
keeping that business together without people going in and out. I mean, it can fall apart at any moment. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
There's
they're
so
big-
many bands that
you
are
know.
just like a revolving door of members.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
mean to cut anybody off. Love you. It's 3 degrees in here. I need to shut that. My feet are
What are you out of
cold.
your mind?
Shut that window.
My feet are. You're hot.
This is a man's room. There's
Feel-
fucking heat in here. This is how you stay cool.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Feel his
Bear
forehead.
Grylls.
Yeah.
Are you good over there? Like,
I wasn't
I'm
even paying
good.
attention. I'm good.
I had to
All right,
take my
fine.
If you want
sweatshirt
to climb,
off.
close it.
no, I'm not gonna. I'm done now. He shows up and he's just a dick.
It's a badge of honor.
It's a
to
badge of
remain
honor.
cold and not say a fucking word about
It's
it.
like, I don't need a fucking jacket. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
listen,
good.
my teeth
What
are
do you
jittering.
comfort?
It's fine.
You got to see your breath in here.
I don't give a fuck if my teeth hurt. It's so cold.
This country was forged on weather like this.
This country was formed on frostbite. You crazy?
Leonardo DiCaprio crawled 1 mile in the Revenant through sub-zero temperatures after being attacked by a fucking grizzly bear.
That movie looked sick.
I want to see it.
It
I
does,
gotta see
man.
it.
It looks really good.
It was fantastic. It really was. It was really good.
It really looks well.
He better win.
He
an
better
award.
win something. Like the poor guy. I mean,
Yeah, I know, right?
God, man.
Well, at least
Listen, if we're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, don't ever lump poor guy into that sentence.
No,
Please. Because
Yeah,
he's
it's true. It's
fucking
terrible.
slinging jizz wherever he wants right now.
Slinging?
Fucking
Slanging
slinging it out.
Just
Fucking
slanging it.
Splatting it. Makes a sound when it hits. It's like
It's
heavy.
like Gak from Nickelodeon.
Silly putty. Straight out of the egg.
It's like heavy and it doesn't run.
Yeah. You could use it like when you use the newspaper and stick the silly putty and
like-
it would come out with a print on the end.
It's like spackle. Like you just throw it on a wall and it
Old
slides.
spackle.
Yeah.
If you look at it for
Smells-
too long, it just gets up and crawls away.
Can you guys just imagine? Just put yourself in this place for a second.
Okay.
You're trying to build this business, this band we had, right? And you got this guy sitting next to you.
Yeah, with Big is talking about building the band and revolving doors members. Dan, if I didn't run track, I would have never have even probably known of Mutiny when they were coming up because a good friend on the track team, my friend Dan Lobaz, who AJ actually works with now, is the one that introduced me to them saying, hey, they had a disagreement with their drummer. I know you're a drummer. Why don't you reach out to them? And because of him, I reached out to Mutiny, and that's how I became
great.
acquainted. Yeah. So if I didn't go to Monmouth and I didn't run track and I wasn't a healthy guy, it wouldn't have paid off. So
You could say that about anything, though,
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
not
Yeah.
actually that cool. But
not even close. I just had to give Dan a shout out.
there you
How
go.
AJ
Dan
was talking
Lopez.
about you before. How AJ was talking about you before. You know what I love about you?
Huh.
You're like a lightning rod, right? You sit there, and then an idea just goes pow,
Boom.
and you just
Spit.
get it out.
Spit.
And listen,
No
it's
filter.
it's well worded, excellent,
Yeah.
and just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no,
gotta shoot from the hip.
He's got the
You're
gift
just
of
like,
gab.
hey, yeah.
You know the
got
thing
one of
is,
the-
you know what the trick is? Start saying shit before you even know what you're about to say. And it really forces your brain
Yeah,
to come
you're
up
like,
with
oh,
some
I gotta
good
catch
words.
up to this
Yeah.
one. This is about to sound really racist.
Your mouth.
No,
No.
I gotta tie this one in.
It's like the mouth has to catch up to what's happening.
Oh, if your mouth could go at the speed of your brain, it would be wild.
It would sound like
man.
Morse code.
Bleeps.
Bleeps.
So I guess we could further the story a little bit. So we signed the deal, right? And we got thrown into the studio in Florida. We went to 2 studios, Jason Sukoff at Audio Hammer Studios, and then we went to Jason Beeler at Beeler Bros Studios. So this was like
Yeah.
real deal.
And
like,
Sukoff is where Devil Driver, all
Yeah.
that
Trivium.
remains. Trivium.
Trivium.
You name it. And they tracked
and
it.
Beeler did Sick. He did
Dashboard,
Skindred, Dashboard,
Confessional.
and Dashboard actually kicked us out of the studio because they had something to do.
And how nice of them. Very fucking emo of you.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Well said.
That's great.
And,
Very emo.
And Jason Beeler was in Saigon Kick back in the day, and he wrote like this awesome monster ballad.
I remember when you sent me that picture of him with the long hair. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, he looks great. So that was kind of so the process is wild, and you know what? If I could change anything though, what I would change is, I guess I wouldn't change it because I cared so much that like everyone started to hate me. Like I cared about every note on this damn album. Okay, and you know I don't know if I was a pleasure to be around, but hey, it came out like it did.
That's
so
it.
I
It was a
guess-
learning curve for everyone.
Yeah.
No one knows how to handle once you're thrust into the major label arena. No one knows how to go about that.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're saying, it was not no one's fault, really, if
Yeah.
you're trying to be business minded and keep the thing afloat, but you're not really sure how to go about that.
Right.
Like we're not business managers.
No.
We're musicians.
And it's
So-
something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And you want it to do well.
And what I
you
wish,
know what
and,
I mean?
this is a call to all bands that are successful out there, is to talk about this stuff on podcasts or whatever, because
Yeah.
we had no resource. We didn't know, like, we didn't have any prep to go into a studio and live together, basically,
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
and write an entire album. I mean, it's tough, man. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world to make a product like that.
Absolutely.
Being in such close quarters with guys with big personalities, and I wish some of these bands would talk about this stuff and they don't. I mean, I guess Metallica put out that DVD.
What was it? Some Kind of Monster.
Yeah, so I guess that was kind of, they had a therapist in there and stuff, right?
That's a little fucking over. That's when like the shit already came off the rails. When you have to get a therapist in and make it and film it.
Yeah. So I don't know if we would
talk about it before you have to get to that point.
But I wish there was more resource. So I mean, props to you guys for doing this podcast. But,
awesome. No, absolutely, man. I mean, and I feel the same way about this. Like it's. I sweat over every little detail. Like, what do we? He tells me we need something. Like, how much is it? Buy it. Yeah. Like that's to the point where I'm at. Yeah. And like that's how it's gotten to this point. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
good though because that's what makes you actually go through with it. While the other guy, Joe Smith, is still sitting wavering and not really sure if he wants to go through.
I'm calling them all the time. I'm sure I'm a pain in the ass. Like,
I'll be like
all the time.
I'll be like trying to. There'll be like guns and saws going off, and I'll be like, I'll put it up. I will put the video up. All right, bro.
I'm like, yo, post this, do that. I'm like, I got 2 phones. Yeah. I got an iPhone 6 after all this started happening. I had a Droid. Phone. I got an iPhone 6 that I just used for this. So I'm like, I'm working one phone, I'm working the other phone, I'm texting, tweeting, Instagram. You know what I mean?
Word tweeting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like
I still don't get it.
Is that your job to post some of this stuff?
No, we all do.
Oh,
like we just get stuff, and like that whole video of me training last night, it was just totally like. My girlfriend sent it to him because he wanted videos of me training or her
That's
training.
That's the way to do it. You work together.
Content. Put out content.
Yeah. We all have different interests. Like me and Kevin are big into metal. Yeah. Antonio's like new to metal. Yeah. Me and Antonio love MMA. Yeah. Love MMA. We could talk MMA all day. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's a new podcast.
Yeah. And and Kevin and Antonio are huge football fans. They could talk football all day. Right. So it's like we all have all these different interests, and we want to just we're doing the podcast is the core. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's going to deal with a lot of different stuff.
And I think the thing, me and Bill have learned with our old age is, or at least with our experience, we're not old, but we've had a ton of experience, is that you got to smell the roses, man. Because, I mean, talk to anyone that's had some kind of experience like we did. Like, they're like, oh, it flew by. Try not to let it fly by. And that's what I would say, because in the studio we were stressing, but we're like, it's all right, because once we put this album out, we're going to be having fun on tour or whatever. And then you get to tour, and that's stressful too.
Yeah.
And
you're always looking, but that brings it like to mind, like the idea of people, happiness is always just around the corner, and my stability, occupation, and
exactly what I'm trying to say.
Happiness is just around the corner. Yes. But when you constantly think and frame it in your mind of, oh, it's just around the corner, well, guess what? That's where it's staying. Yeah. It's going to stay around the corner. Yeah. If you say, I have the worst fucking luck, I never make money, and I always stub my toes on this fucking corner when I walk down the hallway, guess what, cocksucker? You're going to stub your fucking toe every time.
Every time.
So get the idea out of your mind that you're going to stub your fucking toe, and just, like AJ said, smell the fucking roses.
And you can't be afraid to fail.
Be happy now. Exactly. When you're happy now and you're not happy later, it puts the fuel into the right, appropriate areas of life.
Yeah.
It's like you're always chasing things.
Well, it's like you hit a roadblock, and people are like content with continuously hitting that roadblock, not finding the way to get around it or over it. You know what I mean? Even like with my first fight, I got knocked out, and I came to a realization. I was like, I need to really start training. You know what I mean? It can't be 2 hours a day. I need to find a real gym.
And had that not happened, you wouldn't have learned that lesson.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. There you go. So I don't know. We could pick it back up. Where were we? So we made the album, right?
Yeah.
I gotta hit that.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. And then it came out as a long waiting process, right? And then
it was the anticipation.
Oh my God!
I remember because I left after I got done tracking the drums at Sukoff's. You guys then flew because I wanted to make it home for Christmas. Then you guys flew or wherever, went to Beeler Brothers Studios, and when we finally got couple final rough draft mixes of the album, I remember burning a CD and putting it in my car. I remember the route I drove listening to it. Yeah. And I was like getting goosebumps. I was like, I can't believe we're listening to this final product.
And for him too, because we did the rest of the album, like he did the drums and then went home and I was just sending him updates, you know what I mean? And because we had all the songs, like we worked on them forever.
It was so long.
So, I mean, so it was no surprise, but some tricks, he heard and it was just exciting.
Yeah. Because I knew what the songs were going to sound like, but in the studio.
I wish I was in your position, man.
It was like fucking unwrapping presents every so often.
No, and then.
So what was it like playing in front of like the first large crowd that you guys?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the first show on tour was like that. I mean, like I said, the route we took was thrown right into the
Boom,
big
right
times.
into the fire.
Yeah, so like
Out of the fucking frying pan.
when I was 15 at the mall, I loved Soulfly and wore the baggy pants. Okay, so our first tour was with Soulfly. I mean, all the dreams,
crazy.
all the dreams are coming true. So we got this van, we got this trailer, and our agent booked us the Soulfly tour, and we drove from Jersey to LA for the first. Bill doesn't know this.
Yeah.
He forgot all this. We drove from Jersey to LA for the first show. And the first show was with Soulfly.
That's a 3-day fucking drive.
That's a hell of a drive right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good
with,
God.
with tour, I guess people that aren't in touring bands don't know some of this stuff. Like with tour, it takes a few days to get locked in. So we played those first few shows. We played LA, we played Sacramento, we played San Diego. So we did kind of California, and it was good. But like we'd never done 3 shows in 3 nights.
Yeah, it's
ever.
like your first fucking shot at it.
Yeah. So you start to get a little locked in. You start figuring out. You get the muscle memory. I think that's really the way to say it.
Totally.
Yeah, and then you start to figure out where you're going to be on stage for certain points of the song, and you know what, like Bill's working on, you know, how to transition this song into that song.
Right.
We didn't use a click track, by the way, and I'm very proud of that.
You got to explain what that even is.
Okay, so click track is when bands play live. Sorry to ruin it for people.
Not even ruining it. It's just a little tidbit.
Well, I ruined it for me when I
Right.
found this out when I was a kid. But a lot of bands, I mean, actually every band now the drummer has an iPod in his ear, and so all their
Yes, he actually shoves an iPod in his ear.
headphones.
Insult at first, but yeah.
Vaseline, just Vaselines it right up. Gotta go in, nice and smooth.
And
It's getting in there one way or the other.
And that links to the soundboard, and so all the backing tracks from the album come out through the PA, and also the drummer's playing to the album basically. So it's right in time, and he's got this metronome
You hear this.
in his ear. Yeah. So that's in his ear the whole time, and that's how the band's playing. When we went out,
Fuck that shit. We didn't do any of that.
dude, we just played like a real
Fucking
band,
winging it.
You know, different.
Men.
It was slightly different speeds
Men.
every night. It was slightly different. I mean, it was real. You know,
Yeah.
if there was a show that
It's a live show.
Yeah.
If there was a show, right, that maybe the room was half full and we weren't nervous or whatever the case, then we played the songs at the right speed. If the crowd is like going nuts, then we'd speed it up a little bit, and I'd like that. because
Adrenaline.
yeah,
Like the movie. You guys
That
ever
is why you go to a live show. As
ever
a fan
seen-
to
Yeah.
see shit like that.
You ever
That's
see the
exactly
movie?
why.
What was it? Wanted, where they could curve the bullets. What was that? Was it Wanted?
I don't know.
With Angelina
Yes,
Jolie
yes,
and okay.
yes.
Anyway, the whole trick of how they could slow down time was their brain sprayed adrenaline like crazy, and it just made them like focus like slow mo.
Yeah.
That's real because when you're hyped up and the adrenaline is fucking spraying like Glade on your brain, it literally makes you play the songs faster because you think that you're
It's
playing
true.
them slow.
And what's amazing is that after the show, we'd watch back like some YouTube that
Holy
somebody
shit,
uploaded,
that was lightning.
and we're like, that's so fast. But when we would talk, we'd say it felt so slow, man,
Yeah.
on stage.
Yep.
And so, but that's you feed off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
And I like that. So it's nothing was set, and we kind of go with the flow.
That's
so I'm very
awesome.
proud of that. And,
Yeah.
and Bill obviously manned the beat, and that, I mean, that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have anything in his ear. He just played drums like played drums.
Like a
Exactly.
musician.
Yeah.
Like now with a lot, like say if I play, just like most bands do this. Like say I'm playing a show with Angel, and he has a couple digital sounds coming through the PA that's on the album. We don't have a keyboard player, and there's no choir behind us or some techno breakdown that comes out through the PA as another musician.
Right.
So in order for that to lock in with what we're playing, I have to have headphones in with a steady beat, and that's how everything is synced and timed. So the drummers now for metal bands, you got to give them credit. And I'm just saying this, patting my own back. I'm saying everybody, they control everything back there. They hit play, they hit stop. They're listening. If you're off, you fucked the whole show up, my friend, and it's embarrassing because if you fall off that click and you're like, oh shit, and you land it back on, you don't even know if you landed back on in the right spot.
That's true.
It's just I'm on time again. It
Right.
doesn't matter. You're 4 measures behind time.
Yeah,
and then
so-
the sound effects come in late or soon, and you're
Exactly.
humiliated, deep in fucking embarrassment. You can't even claw your way out.
Right.
So it's like drummers now, it's like a different breed. It's not like, hey, just go there, hop up on a show. If you see them playing and you hear stuff coming in through the PA, realize that they're controlling a fucking laptop
Absolutely.
back there and
Yeah.
hitting play and making sure everything's good.
And it's important to say we weren't. I don't think I was trying to say one's better than the other. I'm
No,
just saying,
not at all.
I'm just
It's-
saying I'm
no.
proud that we
Different,
played
yeah.
a raw,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
raw
without a
set.
doubt.
Raw
Yeah,
was
that-
great. Raw was fun.
So yeah, that first tour with Soulfly, I mean, we learned the ropes of touring. I mean, we
Yeah.
learned. I mean, you know, you eat not that much and crap.
No, you can eat. You can eat not that much, but it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can eat more than not that much, but it's garbage. It's
Yeah.
total rest stop, McDonald's. You got not
chips,
not
fast
that
food.
much money in your pocket, so you got to get whatever's cheap.
And again, let's say stuff that probably bands don't talk about the details. Like, you play you get ready to play. You're manning your instrument, restringing, whatever the case. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And then you play, and then right after, I mean, if you're an upcoming band like we were, we had to run the merch stand. We didn't have any help.
That's crazy.
So you get off stage. We had jobs, right? We gave each other jobs, and so like me and Drew would run over to the merch table, and these guys would unload the stage. And so we're trying to sell merch, keep track of money. All of a sudden, we're fucking accountants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, we were thrown right into
That's
it.
awesome.
And it's a crazy
and it sucks
thing.
because after like the drummers, that's why they say, the drummer never gets the. I don't know why I picked drumming because it sucks, but I love it because after the show, you want to mingle, say, yo, what's up to the fans and this and that. No. I didn't have a drum tech. Up and coming bands don't have drum techs. You have to take your entire drum set, unload it off the stage, take it apart behind the stage, pack it, and then put it in the fucking van.
Hold on,
and then an hour and a half later, you get to go mingle with the fucking dust that settled on the ground because everybody already had the fun.
Yeah, you missed a part, Bill.
What?
Not only would he have to do all that, but you'd probably have to wait for the next band to finish because they were sharing your drum set.
That happened a lot. That could happen a
no.
lot. Or sometimes you couldn't open a door because the next band started. It's just dumb, annoying shit.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to put the work in.
Don't
It's
play
like
drums.
don't expect to get
Don't play
pampered.
drums.
Don't play drums.
And go drum and just walk off stage and say, man, what a show. And you're just like, you leave your shit. It's
That
like,
was very Broadway-esque.
I know. That was a show.
And
throw a
scene.
towel over
It's
your
almost
shoulder.
like it's through your hair. You're like,
Yeah.
what a show.
Give me my Evian. It's like it doesn't work that way. Those things that are up there got to fucking move.
And when you say get me my Evian, you just put your hand out there.
Yeah.
Waiting
Nothing
for-
ever
wait-
comes.
waiting-
You stand there for
waiting
20
for
minutes.
it to arrive and not looking at the person that hands it to you.
Yeah.
No, but then he does a little handshake. He'll be like,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Excuse
There it
me. All right, so that was the first tour, and then right after that, let's see if I can get all the tours. We did a tour with Periphery. Then
that was the second one?
Yep. Then we did a North American tour with Arch Enemy.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Super dope.
Played Nokia
I was
Theater.
listening to Arch Enemy last night. I was just blasting it.
Yeah.
It's a new lead singer now.
I know.
It's the lead singer from The Agonist.
I like the old one better.
Angela,
I think
she's amazing.
she's
Angela,
intense.
I think she manages them or does
Yeah,
something now.
she's still involved a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, she did it for so many years. So
Yeah.
she's amazing, and she was super nice and
Very, yeah,
yeah,
totally.
We really liked her. And we had some tours after that were. I mean, these were all dreams come true. I mean, we toured with Sonata Arctica, which is a Finnish influence for me. Finnish
Toured
band.
with bands we grew up listening to.
Yes, Soil Work.
Straight out of the
Dark
gate.
Tranquility.
Yeah.
I mean,
Scar Symmetry?
No, Dark Tranquility.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so we're meeting all these bands, we're touring with all these bands, and it was really. It was amazing, man.
Yeah, it was.
It was the
a
dream.
great
You're living the
experience.
dream.
It was.
Yeah.
We got to do it young.
Yeah.
We
It's
were,
dope.
we
Yeah.
did it really young. So that's pretty. I mean, that's how it came about, and I want bands to know that the bands that are local is who I'm really trying to talk to. So I keep up on Facebook, and I go out to shows and meet a lot of bands, and that's kind of something I'm trying to get back. It's like how to get over that hump, how to get into that 1% of bands that do make it and survive.
You have the knowledge, and it's good to impart it.
Well,
onto
it's,
these
some
young
lessons
kids
that
that
I
are
feel like
in the middle of the
these
grind.
successful bands don't impart this knowledge. They don't talk about it. I mean, there's still. I feel like I go online. There's no resources. They just give some vague answer like, "Oh, just keep working hard."
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Or a YouTube video or
Yeah,
something.
or make a YouTube- I mean,
it's almost like they're content. It seems from what you guys are saying, it's like they don't want people to know their secret
I
and how
don't
they
know.
made it.
Not even. I just don't think they feel it going into it. It's
Yeah.
just like,
It's just
like, whatever.
See, but that just takes, in my
Right.
opinion, in my humble outside opinion,
ahead.
that just takes away from the whole idea of like the whole metal community and the music community, like especially the way it is now and how hard it is to actually get to the level of bands like Killswitch Engage, bands All That Remains that are still at the, you know what I mean? Even though whatever my opinions of the new All That Remains stuff, but bands
Not
that have
good.
that long-lasting staying power. Unearth is still there. Unearth is
Unearth
in
is
the
better
trenches
than
forever.
fucking ever.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We just
We
saw them
just
live.
saw-
Saw them,
Phenomenal.
we just saw them with Killswitch.
Phenomenal.
That new drummer they got, holy cripes.
Traditional style.
Traditional style, but he's like a madman, and he plays it for real.
Oh, yeah.
There's no fakery, there's no fucking up, and he's fucking in shape. And you got
Solid.
when you're playing that shit, you gotta have some kind of physical, like at least some
Endurance.
kind of endurance
At least
about
endurance,
it because
yeah.
that
I
shit's
lent
hard.
Bill-
It's hard.
I lent Billy the CD about a year and a half
I
ago.
still have it in my car. Shit. Totally forgot about that. I memorized the CD. I'm like, it's mine now.
The legit CD, man. You got to buy the CD.
yeah,
Or
that
else
got-
what do you...
That's right. And
That
I
new album got
I
heavy.
miss that. Everyone listens to music online, but I miss opening that booklet,
dude,
reading. I mean, that was my thing, man. I went to the back page. I wanted to see how each song was produced, who wrote each song. Like that was that. I loved that.
We talked about it last week. It's just, it was such a. It was like not a ritual, but like it was like something you look forward to.
Absolutely.
You stayed on top of a band in like Revolver magazine, wherever the fuck you could find Revolver magazine.
Right.
I mean, especially where we lived and where we grew up in Florida, where there's like zero metal scene. Right. So we're just getting CDs. We're hearing from bands off of like sample CDs and like metal magazines and stuff like that. And that's how we found out all the band. Like I found out about Bleeding Through by reading a little tiny
in a magazine,
square at the bottom of a page. Look out for these guys. I think it was like I can't even remember the name of the friggin' of the magazine, but it was like one of the magazines that came
All
out.
Press,
Metal Hammer.
Metal Hammer.
There you go.
That was it. And I'm like, they're probably cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I checked them out. I bought the CD because there's no other way to check it out.
Right.
So I bought. You're talking maybe like what 2003, 2002. Something like that. So I bought the CD, listened to it. I'm like, holy shit! It was still one of my favorite bands of all time.
Which one was that? What
Bleeding
CD?
Through.
No, what CD was the first one you heard?
This Is Love, This Is Murderous. Because you didn't have access to their
Is that the one with
earlier
the
shit.
Love Lost in a Hail of Gunfire?
Yes. Bro, there's songs on that fucking CD. Man, dude. And they always got better. They
They got real like symphonic, like black metal kind of stuff.
Absolutely. They
Towards
throw
the
that in
end.
there.
Go ahead.
No,
ahead.
go.
They're a good live band too. I've seen them
I
live.
never saw them live.
I saw them
Never
wish I
saw them
did.
live.
They
It's one of the few bands I've never seen live.
I saw them with Bullet for My Valentine
Oh wow.
Oh, there you go. That's back there.
at House of Blues in Orlando.
Yeah. I went to Ozfest 2001, and it was on the main stage. It was Ozzy, Slipknot at like their peak of like right before they came out with the second album.
That's awesome.
Like right then, the peak, right? It had Papa Roach, Disturbed, Linkin Park. It was like all in those days.
Right.
Mudvayne headlined the second stage, and it was a bunch of other bands like Scrape. You ever heard of Scrape?
Oh shit! Yeah. They had that old
Head
video
Key, that
with
was
like
out for a while.
skateboarders falling. Didn't they? Scrape. That was Scrape. Yeah.
Yeah. That
And
was
listen,
a
and
great
2
show.
points on that. One, you feel a connection because you grew up with them. You bought those CDs. You had them in hand, right? They got scratched. That song would skip. I mean, that's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the second thing is just a shift, not just in music, but in society where, you know, sorry, me and Bill are very big picture dudes, so we keep bringing it back to
No, it's all good.
you know, the reason that we're all here.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a shift because now you're telling me about that special Ozfest, right? Now, if I wanted to see a band live or whatever, I can go YouTube the whole thing, and you don't get that
watch their
feeling. You're not there.
concert
Yeah,
live.
you don't feel the sweat. You don't feel the energy. I mean, it's not
Not
the same.
even close.
But before all the
Nothing.
videos were online of every live show, you have that memory. You know, you
Exactly.
tell people, "Oh, I was there," and they're like, "Really, man? I wish I was
That
there."
was crazy. Was
oh,
it
let
crazy?
me just
Yeah,
let me
you
just
tell-
YouTube it. That's fine. I'll just
Yeah.
watch it on YouTube in my boxers. Like that's not, you know. So I
You talked about
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
production.
Yeah.
And like opening it up and be like, oh shit, this person produced this, or they were on this track, or whoever. And it's like when we used to go to the movies, probably with our dads, you used to be like, why are we still fucking sitting here when the credits are rolling?
Yeah.
And like both our dads have been in the film industry forever, and they're like, oh, you know, that guy.
They
was
know all
DP.
those guys.
and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
So,
No, and that's what started to happen once we got into this world. You know, we're reading credits and we're starting to see. I think we've been thanked a few times. I mean, you start to really know the world, and I don't know, that's not around anymore. These
It's
books,
just not.
It
books,
sucks.
you
It's
know?
annoying.
Yeah. So that's kind of a shift that, you know, is unfortunate, but
Everything's
you know,
in the fucking cloud.
Yeah, but there's, you know, again,
Cloud,
this
yeah.
podcast you guys are on. I mean, you guys are old school, so
Yeah, man. I
it's
mean,
cool.
I'll show you the Bible when I'm done. You'll be impressed.
It
It's been around. I got it. I was like, I dusted it all off, unzipped it, went through it because I knew we were gonna talking about stuff like this. But yeah, it's holding up the ottoman. It's like it weighs like 39 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I think
I just miss those days, bro. I really miss them.
No, I do too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, that was kind of that was a big problem for our band because our first, I think you talked about it last
Little
week.
bit, yeah.
You know, our first album came out and we were right in that Napster, you know.
It was like,
right when it came out,
It's
everybody.
like, yes, we're
everybody-
living our dream, and that's the
Everybody was-
fucking heyday of stealing music. We're
Yeah.
like, you
And
got
so,
it.
and
That
so,
was like the cancer that like.
Yeah, it really was.
And you undershot it. I heard the podcast last week. It was
I undershoot it?
100,000
Okay,
illegal
sorry.
downloads. I mean, you know, it
Ooh.
was, you know, and we're getting messages from around the world, and it was amazing. And then we're looking at our sales. We're like, well, where are they at? You know,
Yeah.
and also when the label's looking at your sales, like, hey, where are they at? You know, at that time, labels didn't know what to do. They were
They were
like
in
a
a
panic.
transitionary phase.
It
It
Just
was
like
like
we were.
the stock market crashing for music.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? That's
Exactly.
insane.
So it had to, it had to rebuild, and now I think the music industry's back a bit. But I mean,
It is back a bit.
But so it was
What's
a
up
tough
with the
moment.
vinyl? People releasing vinyl.
It's coming back.
What's up with that?
And see who could have predicted that?
No
Nobody.
one.
Nobody.
No one.
Exactly.
So
I went in there, I'm
forget
looking
all
at-
these predictions.
I'm looking at like Suicide Silence albums in vinyl in like Hot Topic. I went there. I'm like,
They
I
still
don't go
got
in there
them.
often. I go in there to pick out a
Vintage
shirt or
vinyl.
two. Yeah. I go in there. I'm like, but the first time I seen it, like I don't know, 8-9 months ago, whatever it was. I'm like, what? Because they
It's
always
that-
had a
it's-
small selection of CDs.
It's that hippie revolution, man.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
So
I'm
I went in
telling
there
you.
to check out the CD rack. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
The
I'm
CD
looking
is
at
huge.
albums.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Why is the CD so big?
CD's fucking big.
I'm like.
It doesn't fit in my car.
So I was talking to the lady at desk. I'm like, so what's up with the vinyl? When that become a thing
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's coming back. I guess.
huge.
Yeah, they had the first Kill Switch album. I was like, holy
Right.
shit! I wish I had a vinyl player.
it's just like the life finds a way to push back at
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Well, and it just goes to show. I mean, there are people out there like us that
Yeah.
respect, the old days, and
Yeah.
I mean, also the sound from vinyl, you can't really replicate.
I was telling him how that
It's
demo won last time.
Yeah.
The vinyl sound at the beginning.
true.
Remember?
Oh yeah. we programmed in a vinyl sound.
Yeah.
That's kind of not
no
old
reason for
school.
that. I
But
know.
yeah, there you go.
Fake
Speaking
old
of-
school. I gotta urinate. It's gotta happen. It's gotta come out.
Yo,
of me.
blast it out, bro. Do what you gotta do.
Third time you said urine.
I didn't even flush. I didn't want to mess up the sound.
Don't
I was like, oh, I don't want to flush.
don't clog the toilet with your piss.
At the end of this podcast, that room's gonna smell pretty wonderful.
I
It's
just
a small
didn't want-
bathroom,
I was like,
bro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you take a shower in there,
Oh,
it's like
dude.
it's like the planet Avatar. it's
it makes me
damp and
feel
humid.
big. Like I'm standing there, I'm like, yo,
It feels like you're walking through a tropical rainforest.
Speaking of Avatar, the highest grossing movie of all time, is that right?
Is that
Is it
correct?
still
Is it still
Avatar?
holding?
Something like that. But
Didn't I think Jurassic World?
Okay,
Jurassic World beat it.
there you go. But
There it
listen,
is.
But Avatar, right? Anyone I talk to, or if it ever comes up, nobody knows any characters' names. Nothing.
No.
I mean, how did
you
that
just
happen?
remember tall blue
Yes.
alien
I
And
can
how
tell
is
you. I
that
can
one
tell
of-
you the whole movie.
and
Oh,
Sigourney
you
Weaver.
can? Well,
Sigourney
see, you're
Weaver.
an anomaly.
No. I don't mean like when I watched, everyone's like, "Oh, you got to check out this movie." I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll check." I'm a huge movie buff, as you
Yeah.
can see, so I'm like, "Yeah, definitely check it out." Then I seen it was like 3 hours and 37 minutes long, and at the time, I was working 7 days a week
It was not
in
happening.
Florida.
Not
This wasn't
happening.
so I would catch it in pieces.
Yeah.
My ex that I was living with at the time loved the movie, so
Yeah.
and she was at home taking care of the baby and stuff, so she would like throw it on. It killed 3.5 hours of the day, kind of thing. Like when the baby was young. So like I'd always catch it in pieces.
Yeah.
I'd catch like the beginning, then I catch like towards the end, then I catch like the middle. So I kind of had to piece it all in together. And I'm like, you know what? It's a pretty good fucking movie.
There you
Even
go.
though I like got it in like chunks in my head.
But what does it subliminally tell you?
Here we
That
go.
movie, let's do it.
So I didn't watch too much. I didn't watch it like
The
that.
whole
in a
overall
whole-
idea is basically calling human beings evil
Oh, without a doubt.
because they ruin everything they touch. We ruined our planet, so we're flying to
Destroyed
another
that
planet
beautiful
to fix
tree.
that one. So I feel like that is kind of propaganda to lead us to start to think that we are horrible and we should be carbon taxed for destroying our planet. I'm not even kidding.
I hear you.
Global
what do
warming
you
and all
mean-
the heating up of the planet is real. We're having an effect on it, sure.
Oh, you mean
but
paying,
the whole
paying a tax for our
paying a-
carbon emissions?
yes.
Oh.
So the whole
Avatar.
point is
Oh.
Avatar. We fell in love with these blue characters. We rooted for them. Who was their enemy? Humans.
Humans.
Yeah.
They got us to root against our own species.
That James Cameron is deep.
He's deep.
James.
That
But I'm-
Jimmy Cameron.
Well, you know,
Fucking on to him.
if it wasn't for explosions and love stories,
Speaking of James Cameron, I was on set the other day, right? And the director of this TV show that I work on,
yeah.
he's not a big time director at all, but every director likes to pretend that they're big time.
His name is just Steven.
So he's got, so he's
just
got
Steven.
he's like
he-
Prince.
He's got his shoes
Sweat.
off. This was like springtime. He's got his shoes off. We're outside in like Long Island. He's got his shoes off. He's got his little dog with him. Right. This is you're shooting a TV show. People are here for 16 hours. He's smoking a cigar. He's taking his time, enjoying nature. So I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, you imagine if a real fucking director walked in here like James Cameron or Steven Spielberg looks at him and goes, "Put your fucking shoes on. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're embarrassing us all.
It's true.
You
That's what would
brought,
happen.
you brought
Oh,
your
exactly.
dog to set.
Yeah.
Get you and your fucking dog out of here. You're fired."
It was like the second AD that we weren't on. I don't know if you were there for it. Your brother was though. Someone was like, he stands on the dolly track. You're never supposed to do it unless you're getting the dolly on.
You just
the
don't
track.
do it. You
And
just don't do it.
he goes, you know, they used to yell at me for standing on this track to like some PA next to him. And I think it was either the key or someone else. He goes, "Get the fuck off the track!" It was fucking great.
What do you think? You get to some status where you
Yeah.
don't physically fuck things up? Get off of it.
Who are you, bro?
That thing can't kink up.
The
You're
fucking
the
rules
king
don't
of the
apply to you
people that
anymore.
tells us
Yeah.
to be quiet.
Yeah.
Shh. Rolling. Shh.
They went
Those
to
guys.
professional shush school.
I seen the
There are
same
a lot of
director.
shushers, yeah.
I seen the same director shush Jim Caviezel, the guy that played Jesus and has been in a bunch of other things. He's on our TV show Person of Interest, and Jim's like everyone's like quiet on the set. People were a little bit loud for a second. Quiet on the set, and then Jim's like, I heard a couple people over here, and the director walks over and goes, Jim, I got this. Because the directors control the actors.
Sometimes it needs
you
to
know
be
what I'm
done
saying?
a little bit.
Yeah, he just
Reel it on in.
He just
I mean,
stuck his
listen.
hand in his face and goes, Jim, I got this.
When you portray Jesus Christ, you kind of have an entitlement after that for the rest of your life.
Didn't he get struck by lightning twice?
Well,
Twice.
he's got the same fucking
Twice.
initials.
Well, you know,
Jim
let me tell you
Caviezel,
something,
JC,
bro.
Jesus
that's a
Christ.
sign.
Oh, boy.
That's a sign.
Oh, boy.
Stop making that movie.
Yeah.
Let me
Stop
tell you
making
something.
that
He is a space kid. I don't work on the show anymore.
Yeah.
The show's over.
Yeah.
So and
You
the
can
show
say whatever you want.
Yeah, so I can say whatever I want. But I've been on set with him many hours,
Oh,
many
man.
years,
Is he
and
fucking
many
is he
weeks.
in orbit?
He's a
Dude.
motherfucking space cadet.
Wow.
Tether's
Dude,
cut.
He was sitting there one time, right? We're shooting a scene out in front of the stage. There's like the set dressers put up like a chain link fence.
Right.
Supposed to be like a New York alley kind of setting, barrel with fire, whatever, right? So
Because those just exist all over the place.
exactly.
It's like the Jamaican taxi
What is
driver.
this? Like,
Why is every taxi driver Jamaican in a fucking movie?
what is it? Gotham?
Stop. That's the most
It's
stereotypically.
Gotham.
This is
Yeah.
Gotham City.
Yeah,
so
there's
he's
barrels
sitting
of fire.
he's sitting in his actor's chair, and they're waiting for him, and he's waiting for them to call him, for the scene.
Right.
Like, all right, Jim, we're ready for you. And he's on his iPhone. This fucking guy stands up, and the prop gun that he had on his belt gets caught on the chair. And
I thought you were
he's
going to say
walking.
he pulled the prop gun on
He's
someone.
walking on his phone, towing a chair behind him, not even knowing that the chair is on him. That's how.
It's beneath him.
So they're like, Jim.
It was the weight of
They're
the
like,
world.
Jim, there's a chair. He's like, this is the way he talks. They mic him like this on the show because he always talks like this, like very low, like what's going on.
Right.
And
Brooding.
he's like, what? Like, Jim, there's a chair on you.
How many times you get told that?
He's like, oh. He's like,
He turns around and goes,
Then
again?
he goes, is somebody gonna get that?
You see, you know what?
And that fucking PA comes in and takes the chair off, and then he's ready to do the scene.
That's
I'm
a
like,
little bit
dude,
much.
dude, this guy is fucking.
All right,
If
so
I was
maybe-
in that position to be someone like him, making a living out of people watching me, I'd be a little nicer.
Without a
Maybe
doubt.
we're not all the same then. Like I
guess,
said
yeah.
before.
It's rough.
You were gonna take this somewhere else.
Was he?
When he went to the bathroom, you had a thought in mind, and then it went away.
Oh, that's gone.
Okay,
That's
never
gone.
mind. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, because
we
we
got
were
it.
speaking about Kill
You got
Switch.
it.
We spoke about Kill Switch
Sure.
for a second.
Sure.
Which just reminded me of
Their
what do
new,
you guys
their
think
new
of the new
song's
single?
dope. So dope.
So
So
sick.
Oh
sick.
man, it's like old stuff. In the chorus
It is.
pops.
Chorus
and-
is great.
Yeah.
Right when it kicks in.
Yeah, it's heavy, and then the chorus just so
Yep.
it's huge. It's,
I-
it's anthemic.
I loved Howard Jones.
Yeah.
And I still do. Man has one of the best voices in metal. But Jesse, for me, like I grew up. That was my
That was the singer.
my jump
That was the
into,
guy. Yeah,
into
yeah.
metal.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And the characteristics in his voice and the way he puts his heart like into the lyrics,
Yeah.
like
And
he's,
you know what?
he's
if
my
you're-
favorite metal vocalist of all time.
And if you're
hands
gonna
down.
model after a band, I mean, if you're an up and coming band, I mean, that's the one because we
Yeah.
just saw them live and they're still kicking, and they they put everything into every song. So yeah, tons of respect.
Tons of respect.
But that's the thing because
And
most
the guy
people,
who signed us signed them,
Yeah.
so we have a close connection.
that's awesome.
but most people grew up like thinking Kill Switch was Howard Jones because they missed
Yeah,
the
exactly.
first
No.
album.
No.
And it's like, yeah, it's like, no. And they're like, oh, who's the new guy? Well, the new guy is the old guy. And then it's hard to explain.
Bill's that guy
Yeah.
who's like, oh, you don't know the first album, you don't know anything.
No, nothing. You
didn't
know,
see
I'll,
Godfather
dude,
1?
I agree with you 100%. You
Wait,
know
you didn't,
nothing.
You didn't
Right.
fucking see Godfather 1?
No,
The
Bill,
song "Alive or Just Breathing," the title track
Yeah.
of the album,
Yeah.
bro. That fucking song, the chorus for that
Yeah.
song,
Huge.
the sun,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I used to smoke a joint. And I used to sit there when I first started smoking by myself.
Right.
Right. I used to smoke a joint and listen to that, and I
you
would
just
just be
feel like
it's like it's like he's
euphoria.
on his knees crying to the heavens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
There's
so much
like-
emotion put in them.
So much emotion put into that song, and all the songs, dude. That's one of my. I can't talk enough about that album.
I'm
It's
glad
one
to
of my
hear
favorite
that.
albums
It's
ever.
such a good band, and you know when I said about our inspirations or my inspirations to start in the band was like really that Swedish European sound that In Flames, At the Gates, all that stuff, and Children of Bodom, all that stuff. Bill, when he got into the band, he's an American metal guy. I mean,
too.
listen,
Me
he's
too.
an
That's how I
encyclopedia.
started,
He knows
yeah.
everything.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm saying American metal, it sounds like you are
like
too.
the new wave of American heavy metal.
Yeah,
right?
and he got me into that, and so then I learned, you do need structure in your songs because a lot of
no
those
doubt.
European metal bands, I mean, there's just they fly off the handle
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Totally.
Bill I think came in with this structure, and he also had an American drumming style, right? That hard hitting, solid. So it brought a different life to the band, and it just goes to show. I mean, you never know which route music's gonna take or which influences, which is why I don't have any tattoos.
And that brings you back to not having tattoos.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. But
yeah,
good times.
everybody's got to listen to Chris's new band, Wearing Scars.
Wearing Scars.
The shit's
yeah,
great.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
So
he did a good job.
So we're right at like almost like the hour and 20-minute mark. So
Sure.
so I figure we're gonna call it. You know what I mean? But dude, this was. I mean, if we had our camera situation, we could talk for another 3 hours.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? like it's no joke. But isn't it when we talked about it last week? Like an hour plus flew by like that.
Yeah,
Really.
You know what I mean? Like
you guys are easy to talk to, and,
yeah,
and you get it.
it just flows, and we could
Right.
keep going. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but Antonio's got an announcement for the guest for next week.
Oh yeah, big guest for everybody who likes to watch fighting and anything like that. My buddy Matt Hobar, I actually worked with him. He's gonna be on the show. He's in the UFC, so it's
Cool.
gonna be awesome to completely get a breakdown of
Pick his
the
brain a
fight
little bit.
world.
Yeah.
We'll Skype him in, and you can check him out too. Matt the Crowbar Hobar
On Twitter.
on Twitter. I don't know his handle. I don't even know if Matt has a handle on Twitter. Sorry, bro.
So, is there anything you want to plug, AJ? And you got anything coming up?
No, I mean let's plug Chris's project, Wearing Scars.
Yeah, Wearing
I mean,
Scars. Why not?
He's the one who's really keeping it going.
Uh-huh.
And he's over in England, and his band just toured with Tremonti, which is pretty.
Oh,
cool.
the guy that was the guitarist for
Creed and
Creed
then
and
Alter
Alter
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
Hmm.
So yeah, but as far as me, I mean, look, I'm trying to keep writing, but I mean at the end of the day, like I said, my mission now is to really just talk to up and coming bands, and I'm working with a couple of bands, so not really a manager role, but advisor, consultant, whatever you want to call it. Just trying to. I mean, the things that you think might be too obvious, those are the things that work.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean, just go out, hustle, and all that. And listen, props to you guys for this podcast.
Thank you.
I
Dude,
think it's
thank you,
huge.
thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thanks for
coming.
coming.
Absolutely, man.
Listen, anytime, and
happy
I
to come
mean,
back.
you know where I'm at now. Anytime you guys want to do, like I told you last week, anytime you guys want to come out and do this, and we could set it up to where like we'll just run audio and we'll do like whatever. We'll just keep
Whatever,
going.
yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's completely up to you guys. Anytime you want to come, you just let me know and we'll figure it out.
I dig it, man.
It's awesome, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
And
it.
shit, man. Anytime. You guys are more than welcome. So, all right, from Metal Lab 101, this is Neil, Antonio, Kevin.
Later, guys.
We got AJ and Billy. We love you guys, and it was a
Peace.
great show, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Kev.